Welcome to Will Read. My name is Will. Today I'm reading The Rag and Bone Shop of the Heart by Robert Bly, James Hillman, Michael Meade. The Spindrift Gaze Toward Paradise. A man deprived of the function of unreality is just as neurotic as the man deprived of the function of reality. Gaston Bachelard, translated by Colette Godin. Moments come when we feel outside time, seized by a longing, moved by an image, in touch with invisible voices. We realize that we do not live in one world only. As Rilke says, we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. And James Wright says the air fills with delicate creatures from the other world. Something beyond life lives within life and calls the soul. Several of the following poems warn about forgetting this fact. I don't hear these voices if I am, as Wright says, lost in myself. The gaze beyond narrows to tunnel vision inward, and we miss what else there might be. Repair of the soul, the damage I have done to myself, as Kabir says, and focus on the job at hand are only half. A man has metaphysical tasks too. Unless his spirit ventures toward the invisible, a man will be unable to perform the daily round with purpose. He will have little joy, only duty and rebelliousness. The deepest cause of our discontent and our confused yearnings is the loss of paradise. The human soul needs anchoring in something beyond itself, in that vision which is the ground of all initiations, a vision which hints that life on earth reflects ideals of perfection. The first initiation of youth detaches a man from the innocence of paradise, releasing his strength into the world. Later initiations open the eyes and ears to further realities. Religions describe these realities literally as above and beyond and locate them in heaven. The longing for the heavenly affects much of what we do. We idolize our loves, our children, our projects and intentions, because an image of paradise lies at the root of wanting to do the right thing and to make things better. An urge to perfection calls every one of us. And although utopias may never be fully realized, the urge toward ideal love and beauty never lets go of human nature. The mind wants to break out of the skull and think its way to the stars, just as the heart's beat cannot be held in a ribcage. Desire yearns for more and calls this more paradise. The gaze above and beyond seems an archetypal requisite of the soul to live a life on earth with passionate purpose. Another worldly longing becomes particularly necessary for older age. According to Yeats's majestic poem, Sailing to Byzantium, an aged man is but a paltry thing, a tattered coat upon a stick, unless he transcends the mortal fall by envisioning eternal images. The ecstatic traditions of Rumi and Kabir insist that transcendent joy and love are immediately close. Byzantium is right at hand if you say yes quickly. Rumi, those who hope to be reasonable about it fail, says Kabir. These schools teach the work of loss and surrender, a sinking that is also a lifting. Emily Dickinson, too, speaks of surrender. Surrender to what? First of all, surrender to the yearning itself, which the Greeks called pothos and the German romantics Sehnsucht. And this disciplines desire by not fulfilling it. We learn that this longing cannot be satisfied, is not meant to be satisfied, because the soul gazes beyond toward paradise. So yearning keeps the soul in growing orbits, which move out over the things of the world, Rilke, searching, asking, risking, even if we do not reach it, Rilke. At some point, however, we furl the sails and let the questing come to rest. It becomes less a matter of seeking paradise than of receiving its gifts. Perhaps this, too, is a surrender. Instead of your knocking on the door, it swings on its own hinges, or maybe you and the door are both unhinged. No longer on a journey, you are simply at home, waiting for guests. So the great mystical philosopher Plotinus, speaking of his relation with the figures of paradise, said, "It is for them to come to me, not for me to go to them." I think he is saying, you don't will yourself upward and out of this world with ascetic struggle. Rather, keep alert for visitations. Even this concrete world is full of souls, sings Bob Dylan. We would like otherworldly visitations to come as distinct voices with clear instructions, but they may only give small signs in dreams, or as sudden hunches and insights that cannot be denied. They feel more as if they emerge from inside and steer you from within like an inner guardian angel who, as Rolf Jacobson says, puts its mouth against your heart though you're not aware of it. And, most amazing, it has never forgotten you, although you may have spent most of your life ignoring it. Sometimes when you sink into yourself and listen, or when you talk with a particularly moving or beautiful figure of your dream, an utterly surprising window opens. But that open window is also dangerous, according to Felix Pollack, even unbalancing. Several of the poems speak of falling. These moments outside time can feel like death, and philosophers like Socrates and Spinoza consider the aim of life to be the study of dying. I understand them to be agreeing with Rumi and Kabir. Open your heart, your gaze, to the visitations of angels, even if the gifts they bring may not be centeredness and balance, but eccentricity and a wholly unfamiliar sense of pleasure called joy. J.H.